Hi everyone, welcome back, and hopefully now you're comfortable navigating your view in SketchUp and you're ready to start building. Well, if we're going to be building something from scratch and it's supposed to be meeting a requirement of 750 square feet, really helps if you have some kind of floor plan first. What I've found and put together is a simple floor plan that meets the requirements of the 750 square feet townhouse, but has a little bit of unique flavor to it. So we have, first of all, the main dimensions is 30 feet by 24 feet, but I ended up deciding that it might be nice to have a little bit of an extra space on one side for the living room. And then that gave, so the one side actually is a bit longer, 32 feet 6 inches, and it's divided into two equal spaces of 12 feet. So how are we going to build that? Now that we have the floor plan, we have to start thinking about how we can take this and put it into SketchUp. Well, in SketchUp, what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to be on a top view, because we're going to be drawing. How it works is you draw it in 2 dimensions first, you make your shapes using the rectangle tool or the circle tool or whatever tool you have. You make a shape and then you extrude by pushing up or pulling down whatever the shape is that you want, and that gives you the 3-dimensional design. But if we're trying to meet a specific requirement, we have to be very careful about the dimensions. We have to know what the size is going to be. Now, if you ever want to try things, and you can always delete them by you can undo, or you can delete by using the selection tool and then just box selecting and then pressing delete. So now you kind of get a sense of what we're going to do. We're going to be trying to extrude up. What we need to do is we need to switch to what's called the top view. And you can do that by going into camera and you choose standard views and you choose top. Or you can select it from here if you've added this toolbar. Then I am going to draw my rectangle. But how do I know what size to make it? Well, actually what you do, you switch to the rectangle tool, either here or here, and just click once, and then rather than going around and drawing it, you can actually just start typing. So if we look down here, I can just start typing 12, and then feet is 1 apostrophe. Then I press comma, and then I type in the 30 feet. Then I press enter, and it's now created 1/2 of our house. Then if I want to move it, I select it with the selection tool, switch to this tool, which is the move tool. Then I can position it wherever I like. I zoom out a little bit so I can get it where I want. Now, the next part is a bit tricky because I'm actually going to, and if your design is just one room like this or one open space, then you're good. You're done at this point in terms of this. But if you have a bit more of a complex design, what if you want to add 2 rooms and like kind of have different shapes? Then what you're going to have to do is go back to your shape tool, and in this corner, so from here, this is where we're going to want to put it. You click here, and then we want it to extrude out this way, so we move our pencil out a little bit. Then we type in our options, but this time we actually type it in as we go in reverse. So we go 32 feet 6 inches, comma, 32 feet 6 inches, comma, now what's going on here? Oh, I think I'm accidentally touching with my hand on the touchpad. 32 feet 6 inches, comma, 12 feet, enter. There we go. You can't move your mouse at all to make it work. My hand was touching my touchpad on my laptop, so I'm actually just going to disable it right now so it won't accidentally happen. Anyway, now we have it working, and we can look at it from any angle, and we can see that we have our design, and this matches our layout here. This is what we want. Then, once I have that, I'm going to extrude up. But in order to do that, I'm going to take the eraser and get rid of this one edge. So now it's one solid piece. And then I take my push-pull tool, and I extrude up. And you'll notice that if you have the default tray turned on, it'll tell you some tips for how to use the tool and what it does, which is kind of cool. And then we extrude upwards, so that's awesome. And I can roughly get the height I want, and then later we'll adjust it to make sure it's the correct height. So we've talked about how to set up your walls and how to extrude to get the general shape. And the next thing that we're going to want to do is we're going to want to put in our outer walls. So there is actually the easiest way is to just do the same process again, but I'm not too picky about the level of precision for the outer walls as long as it's roughly meeting the requirement. So basically all you'd have to do is go back to your top view, go to the view, sorry, I keep on pressing view, then you go to top, and then you go to, and then we just draw into here the size roughly of the walls we want. And we go here, the size roughly of the walls we want. And then once again, you take the eraser, get rid of this edge. Once you have the outline of all of your walls traced on the top, then it's time to actually bring it down and create the interior walls. And it's pretty easy to do that. All you do is switch back to your extrude tool, and then you pull down instead of up. And this time you could actually cut all the way through if you wanted to, like this, but you have to be a bit careful because sometimes it'll actually cut beyond what you want. I find what looks nice is if you bring it down and you don't go quite all the way down. So basically you go about there. So it's not all the way through, but it's close. Then the next thing we're going to want to do is we want to put a door in. And actually the average size of a door is 36 by 80 inches. And we want to know where we're going to put it. It's going to be on the left exterior wall. So on this side here, that's where they come in. Basically, they come into the kitchen. If there's someone cooking food, they can quickly say, sit down. Like if they're having a busy day, they just come in, grab something to eat at dinner, or they can go watch TV. It's a pretty good idea to put the exterior door somewhere in the shared space rather than having it. Obviously, you wouldn't want the exterior door into the bedroom. That would be weird. So this is our shared space. So we want our exterior door to be here. So we take our rectangle tool, and we know that the average size 36 by 80 inches. So we'll put it roughly here. I think that would be pretty good. And we click, and then here you type in 36 inches, comma, 80 inches, enter. And there we go. We have our door. And then the last step is to cut that door out. So how do we do that? Well, we would have to take the extrude tool again, and this time we click and slowly drag, and then it pops. When it pops, that means it's snapped to the other wall and it's ready to cut it. I'll do it again. Slowly drag, snap, popped. And that way it actually cuts out. And now we can see the floor height. If we want to adjust it, we can just tweak it here. And if you end up needing to adjust your door, you can actually just grab the frame and adjust it like this. Or you can even grab the top and adjust it. That's the wall, sorry. You can try to grab the top frame and adjust it that way too. But one thing that might be nice, now that we have our door, we can actually put our scale person, you can call him Bob. Bob is going to go and stand next to the door, and we can check to make sure that it's okay for him to go in and out. And it's actually really helpful to have a scale person to use for reference and we're going to use it for building our furniture too. So there's Bob standing outside his house, and now we can go in and out. And that's all for this video. Check the next one for how do we add the interior walls, dimensions, and all sorts of other fun stuff. That's what's coming up next. All right, thanks for watching.